Hi, I'm Glory St. Germain from Ultimate Music Theory, and I am so excited for my very special guest today, Janet Olson, who is one of our Ultimate Music Theory Elite Educators. And I want to say big welcome to Janet. Hey, Janet.
Hi, everybody. Thank you, Glory, for having me on.
Absolutely. You know, you are a success story, my girl, and I just can't wait to have our conversation today. So tell me a little bit about your music studio.
Well, I am the proud owner of the Janet Olson Music Piano Studio in Utah, USA, where I teach piano and theory, and I teach all different abilities and uh, ages, and you name it, you can come to the studio and have fun and learn with me. And I specialize actually in the teaching of children on the autism spectrum, but everyone always has special needs of one kind or another. And so
Yeah.
we have lots of fun here at the studio.
That's so wonderful. And I know you just recently too were part of the Ultimate Music Theory presentation that you facilitated for the Utah Music Teachers Conference. And that was a huge success for you as well. So thank you for doing that, Janet.
Thank you. Thank you. It was quite the experience. And I'm so thankful that we have wonderful teachers in the area that appreciate others sharing and learning together
Yeah.
and just being a great support to one another.
Absolutely. I think that's what the teaching community is all about. And I know when you and I first chatted, I want to take you back a little bit, Janet, for perhaps where was your music business before you signed up for the UMTC Elite Educator Program?
I don't think I was smiling a whole lot. I was going through the motions,
Yeah.
really. Find a new student, teach him or her, and send them on their way, which I'm ashamed is really what I was doing. But that wasn't really what my heart wanted to do. And so I found your program, and actually, I am a student of your program from 20 plus 30 years ago. And, I had done that and I had put it away. And
Mhm.
one day in my basement, I found a box of old music and
Yeah.
books. And I was going through it and I pulled out my old ratted copy of, I believe it was the Basic Rudiments.
Yes.
And I pulled it out. I was like, oh yeah, I remember
Yeah.
this. And I looked on the back, and the music world is such a small community,
It is.
music teachers. And I mentioned it to a friend and she's like, wait a minute, I'm already doing Glory stuff. And she invited me in to a call. And before you know it, I was feet first, head first,
Yeah.
everything in first. And I was like, sign me up. This is what I need. I need structure. I
Yes.
need to be able to find my passion again. I had lost it.
Yeah.
So, it's just amazing how it went around full circle. And now
Yes.
here I am as a teacher now.
Yeah, and it's interesting that you said that, and I appreciate your honesty because when we say I lost my mojo or my energy or my passion, it's not that we don't want to be educators, but if we don't continue with professional development, we get into that rut. And I speak from experience because I was there as well, just frustrated, not knowing. And I thought, well, you have two choices: either go work at a different job or elevate your knowledge so that you get your passion back. And I think it's why I'm so passionate about meeting teachers like you, and because we have the same mindset, which is continued education and supporting each other and networking. And that's really what it's all about. So thank you for sharing that, Janet. Do you think perhaps you could share maybe what was an obstacle or a struggle that you were looking to overcome in your business when you got started in the Elite Educator Program?
Well, I love that you just mentioned mindset. I think that was my biggest hurdle.
Yeah.
How I kind of knew what I wanted, but how do I focus on that? And how do I turn everything into a positive? And
Yeah.
how do I set small goals that will ultimately lead me to the big goal that I want to accomplish. So, my big thing was how to incorporate theory, but I needed help. I needed the tools, and that's where you come in, Glory. So.
Well, and I think too, you're right. You do need the tools. I've been an educator for a long time and obviously a publisher as well. And when I look back at, everything that I've gone through, if someone would have handed me the UMTC Elite Educator Program, I would have been like, thank you, because it's years and years of work. And I think now more than ever, because we have all these online courses and communities, I mean, you can get to where you want to be much faster than if you just try to trudge through everything all by yourself. I'm the first one to sign up for coaching and everything else because I know it will get me results. And I think that's what we're all about, is we want to help you get those results. And it's so much fun. Like, I just get so lit up when I see teachers like you. And now, not only are you a very successful music teacher, but you're doing theory club classes, you're presenting workshops, you're growing your business. It's just like, this girl's on fire, So I think when I look back, my question for you is, how did the UMTC Lead Educator Program just help you in growing your music business?
Confidence. So much confidence. And, when we meet every week in our coaching calls, it doesn't matter what week I have had. It could have been the worst week. My kids didn't do any of their work. They're not practicing, But when I leave, when I hang up, when I push the Zoom button, the disconnect button, I am just full of confidence. Yes, I can do it. And I have Glory's voice in my mind, in my head, with a challenge, or you basically lead us by the hand, and you teach us, you show us, you give us the tools, the resources, and the words that we need to succeed, which is mind-boggling, because to me now, those were huge obstacles. I didn't know what to say. I was always tripping over my words. What do you mean you didn't get it? Okay, well, let's think of how I can explain it. Yeah. I know it, but how do I get you to understand something that is here? And, the confidence now, I have those words. I'm able to whip out my board and say, okay, let's do it this way, or an online game that you provide to reinforce a concept, or my kids don't think theory is boring. They tell their friends, you need to join our club class, and I think it stems from just that confidence and just that smile now that I can genuinely put on my face. And I hope that translates to my students and to the parents. So far it's been working. So.
Yeah. Well, and I think too, when you shared just about smiling, when your students come in and they don't get something, and then, you whip out your whiteboard, you teach the concept, and they kind of skip out the door with a big smile on their face. And parents will say, I don't know what you're doing, Janet, but like, it's not the same kid that I dropped off an hour ago. He's or she is like happy to be there, happy to see you. And now they're taking that knowledge and implementing it into their musicianship, in their performance as well. And I've just seen you blossom. We've been working together for a while in the Elite Educator Program, and I've seen you taking these steps and growing your business, and it's really exciting. So what is coming up next for you in your business goals?
I have lots of things in my head, but one thing at a time, prioritizing. Yes. And my very first thing on my to-do list, or on my coming up next list, is finishing the certification. Yes. That is, I go back to those videos and to those lessons all the time. Even when I'm positive I know everything, if I go the night before I teach a concept and review without fail, oh, that's right, I forgot about that. Or what a great way of explaining it, much better than I would have explained it. So I don't even know if you know this, Glory, but you have been a special guest in some of our club classes.
Oh, nice.
We just turn on a video sometimes. I'll say, okay, let's hear from Miss Glory today and see how she explains it, So certification, definitely.
Yes.
and more theory club classes.
Mhm.
And I definitely have the workshop bug now. I did it once
Yes.
and you know what? I didn't think I wasn't going to enjoy it. It was a lot of stress and sweaty palms and
Yes.
everything. But I loved being up there and sharing with teachers.
Yes.
So I don't know, maybe something in that arena.
Yeah. And it's fun to do each step. And even and I'm going to hold you to finishing the certification course. And one of the reasons I put the Ultimate Music Theory certification course inside the Elite Educator program was really, when I first started writing books, I did a lot of workshops, and I realized that, reading a book and providing a workbook is one thing, but how do you teach it? And even after you go through all of these, diplomas and everything else that, there's many teachers that have more diploma letters after their names than I do. And yet they never learned how to explain the concepts of music theory. It was more based on their instrument or their voice. And it's why I put the Elite Educator or the certification course together. And it's so cool because of course it's all online. And so you can go and watch it, as many times as you want as you're going through the Elite Educator and certification course. And I think it's great that you are saying, well, here, let's just play this video, because that's why they're there, right? Sometimes it's just easier and you have those resources and it's fun. I know your theory club classes are massively successful and they're going to be growing. And isn't it interesting how you're now taking the next step? You talked about confidence in your teaching, confidence in your theory club classes, confidence in being a presenter. Like that's part of the Elite Educator program, is just continue to grow and step it up. And I'm excited for what's coming next for you.
Yes, I have to thank you, Glory, because I'm, in my professional life and in my personal life too, confidence is not just a business aspect. It's a personal aspect, in relationships and all of that stuff. And it's wonderful that you touch upon these things as well in the Elite Educator program. Mm-hmm. So it's been wonderful. It's not a transition just in my business life, but in my personal family life, relationships with others. It's been wonderful. It's been great. And you've given us so many opportunities to grow and it's not just about comfort. Sometimes you've got to take that step and like writing a chapter in one of your books. That was something I never. And I said to myself when your series came in, I'm not going to write in that. I can't. I can't. And now look at me. But I think it had a lot to do with all those baby steps. Before.
Yes, and congratulations, because you are in The Power of Why. 27 musicians captured the lead. And, when we look back at that, and perhaps even when you said, I'm not going to do that, but maybe it was because you were taking the steps. And then by the time you got here, you were like, yes, this is an opportunity and I'm not going to miss it. And I think sometimes we are given an opportunity to take another step in our professional development. And we have two choices. We can either say, oh, I'm not good enough, which is obviously not true ever. Or we can say, why not? Like, what have I got to lose? Like, no one will be injured in the making of this video, just take that step and do it. And I'm super proud of you. And I absolutely love your chapter. So for all of our viewers, you make sure to go get The Power of Why and read Janet's chapter. And my lips are sealed, but it's a very emotional journey. And I really want to thank you for sharing, because when you read something like that, I think you don't even realize how many people you impact in sharing your story, that they too can go, oh, well, if Janet can do it, I can do it. And that's really what we're here for, is to lift each other up. So thank you for doing that.
Thank you. Yes, it was an emotional writing journey for me, but I think it was time that my story was told. And just like you say, I hope it does help somebody in a positive way.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So when we're looking back at your journey, speaking of journeys, how has the UMTC Lead Educator program maybe changed how you're thinking now about your business?
that can-do attitude.
Yeah.
You know, I think before I was always comparing myself to
Yep.
the other teacher, or, oh,
Mm-hmm.
look what she's doing or what he's doing, and look at all of the wonderful students that this teacher has, and how does he get them to do this, or, you know, or how did she end up with 35 students in, you know, a month? Things like that. Oh, I can't do that. And
Right.
then it's been interesting in the last year and a half, even with this COVID situation,
Yeah.
I actually haven't really had any change in my studio.
Mm-hmm.
If anything, I've had more students join the studio than before.
Yes.
So yes, the can-do attitude. I've had a lot of colleagues that, oh, well, it's COVID. Nothing's going to come, you know, it's not going to be good. I'm just going to wait it out. And they've been waiting out for over a year,
Yes.
19 months,
Yeah.
20 months, depending on where you're from. And, you know, sometimes I just want to shake them. Yes, you can do it. Come
Yeah.
on, get up. You know, let's do something. Because I'm using your program, and it's given results. It yields results, and just the knowledge that I've gained has been wonderful. It's not too late to stop learning. It's not too late to do little things
Yeah.
one at a time. And like you were saying, you're just that personal growth
Mm-hmm.
has been wonderful. So
And
it's just, I mean,
it,
thumbs up all the way.
well, you know, two words that you said, which were confidence and comparison. And I think when you move forward with confidence and you leave out that comparison thing, and we all have it, you know, we've talked about that little voice inside our head that goes, oh, you can't, and you know, all that negativity. But if you really approach it with your PMA, which is your positive mental attitude, which is what you just said, Janet, the can-do attitude, then it will happen for you. And the universe is kind of magical. You know, when you ask for something, ye shall receive it. Ask politely, but also take action steps. You know, you can't just say, oh, I need this or I want this, but you have to move forward and have the confidence and the community, right? To surround yourself with. And I'm all about surrounding yourself with people that are like-minded, which is what the Ultimate Music Theory Elite Educator Program is. We are like-minded people. We're a community that we adore each other. We have an absolute blast in our coaching calls and a lot of fun. And there's just lessons of solutions only. And how can we grow and support each other? And I think that's what educators are. There's no competition. There's enough students in the world for everyone to have as many as they want, but you do have to take an action step to get there. So I guess my final question is, what was your biggest takeaway in completing the UMTC Lead Educator Program?
Oh, so many things, like you just mentioned, taking action, implementation.
Mm-hmm.
That's where the power comes in. I feel that's where I've gained my power. It's used to be a lot of, oh yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
I should do that.
Yeah.
But then 2 hours later, I totally forgotten about it. Right? So that implementation is power. Absolutely won't regret it. And we're all on different journeys. So my steps will be different than yours. And that's okay. And that's all right. As long as we're doing something, we're taking action, we're implementing, then I think you'll find yourself a much happier person teaching and being you, and that translates into better lessons, being a better friend, a better partner, a better mother, a better, just a better person overall. And your parents, your studio parents, take note of that. And what parent doesn't want to send their kid to, an awesome teacher who has such a positive outlook and is always doing something to improve prove themselves. So.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Janet. I really appreciate you sharing your journey with us today. And I really invite all of our viewers to join us inside the Ultimate Music Theory Certification course and the UMTC Elite Educator Program. You get to hang out with amazing people like Janet Olson and the rest of us. So thank you for joining me, Janet. And I look forward to continuing our journey in the Elite Educator Program. So thank you so much.
Thanks, Glory. Thank you.
Thanks. Bye for now.